welcome to Live at 5 on Tuesday, December the 20th. We've got somebody from
one
my
of your
favourite shows.
Like,
Grace McLean is here.
Imogen can't stop talking about Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet.
It's so good, and I hate everything, as you know, but I love this show. It's so good.
We're really behind this one.
We really are.
It's an extravaganza.
Brilliant. It's an extraordinary experience. Right, let's do the news.
Let's do the news. Oh, well, we had terrible news last night. Tessa died, and we've been thinking about him because obviously he originated the role of Wilbur and won a Tony Award for Hairspray. And so when Hairspray Live was happening, and actually there was a tribute to him on the set. You know, the set, we did a feature about all the nods to different people and the store names. There was one to Dick Tessa, and he was really well loved by the Hairspray cast because he was just such a character and so much fun and always fun to have around. He died at 87, but he had a long career on Broadway. And he started in the Army, and then he was on Broadway a lot in the 60s, a lot of Neil Simon plays, Will Rogers Follies, and all kinds of things.
Puts the vet into Broadway vet.
Yeah, exactly. And a real, funny guy. So anyway, rest in peace, Dick Tessa. That was sad. So, Theatre des Châtelets.
This is so
We should meet in Paris, Imogen.
We should meet in Paris.
We should do a spring Paris
Broadway.com trip.
There's another Broadway-ish show happening, right?
Yeah,
so
My Fair Lady.
Right.
And there are so many My Fair Ladies circling around.
That's so true.
So let's try and keep the street. So
Which one will end up on Broadway?
Exactly. So this is Richard E. Grant, Lisa O'Hare, who was in Gentleman's Guide, and Bryce Pinkham, who was also in Gentleman's Guide.
Yeah, and Holiday Inn now.
They're all going to be in the Lyric Opera's new incarnation of My Fair Lady.
Now the Lyric Opera, in the Theatre des Châtelets, I'm not saying it right, but they do I feel like they do a show every year now for Broadway people.
They do.
Right?
And that's where American in Paris
started with
started.
American in Paris, and then they did Singing in the Rain last year.
We'll see what happens to this. I mean, for a while we were hearing that Clive Davis, the big record producer, had the rights to My Fair Lady and was bringing in Mr. King's Speech.
What? Yeah.
Colin Firth, thank you.
Firth.
I do it every time.
I feel like we forget Colin Firth's name.
About Colin Firth's name.
You should
every
know.
Time. I know I
He's
should.
He's a Brit.
I should know.
Anyone who's in the
Colin
Bridget
Firth.
Jones movies,
I should know
completely.
I should have on my mobile. Yes. Anyway, Colin Firth. So there's been a lot of rumours over the years about. So we'll see if this one comes into Broadway.
Yeah. Speaking of Bryce Pinkham, so Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
They're doing one of those live broadcasts.
Live broadcast January 14th, so you can sit at home in your pajamas.
You could sit at home and watch Holiday Inn, and that's the same exact theater and the last big musical from that She Loves Me. They just did from Studio 54.
Yeah,
so maybe every musical at Studio 54 will go live.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, check that out. Yeah. There's a new clip of Shiny, which is a new Lin-Manuel Miranda standard
from Moana.
Which has already made $288 million
worldwide, which is a
crazy
money.
People love those. Will Glitter. Now, do you know the movie Glitter?
I have seen the movie Glitter. Have you?
It's a classic.
It's
a Mariah Carey classic that does not belong on Broadway. but I guess what is on Watch What Happens Live.
But when she was talking about it on Watch What Happens Live, she was having fun with it. And she was saying that it was going to come to Broadway. It would be very sort of tongue-in-cheek. That was the impression I was getting.
She said, well, let's do it on Broadway and make it kind of campy and like Rocky Horror.
Which is how it should be. I mean, she's not approaching Glitter and saying that it's got to be the most serious musical we've ever seen.
Maybe it could share theater with Showgirls.
Maybe.
It could just alternating schedule.
That would be really fun.
There's a roll call. We love the roll call videos. There's a really fun one with the dashing, I like to say that every time I say his name, Michael Park of Dear Evan Hansen, who we just got applause from the studio audience. We love Michael Park.
We do.
And he did we had fun with him going through he's had a great career, and I'm so excited for him that he's, the dad in Dear Evan Hansen, and it's like such a great...
Yeah.
He was in Tuck
Everlasting, which didn't
make it, and so I'm excited that he's in a good hit, and I want to get some award buzz going for this guy. I think he's fabulous in the role. Anyway, there's a really fun Michael Park video, so check that out. Every Brilliant Thing, which I did not see off Broadway.
I didn't either.
Ryan McPhee did, loved it, and now it's on HBO. Johnny Donahoe, right? That's the guy who did it, and they taped it for HBO. We have an interview with him. That's on HBO December 26th. This was on
Killam was on Seth Meyers last night. He's obviously the new King George, so we've got that video up on the site.
We're getting a lot of traffic on that news about him doing. People are excited to see.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see if they put other comedian
I'm
types
interested.
in that role.
I'm now in London. I want to know who they're going to get in London to do it, because that casting is going to be fabulous.
You know who wants to do it? This is a sneak peek of an upcoming Ask a Star episode that we're doing with Leslie Margarita. That's her dream role.
Well, not right for London.
What do you think?
I
You think a woman could play that?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
But I think if it was a Brit, has got to play it in the UK.
Well, she's an Olivier winner. Anyway, Beth did a one-on-one with Brandon Uranowitz of Falsettos, and those two they're just ridiculous together. They're like, I feel like they've known each other 100 years. Yeah. I mean, they're like, it's like get a room, not for anything, but just to like have fun and talk, because they're adorable together. So watch that video. And as a sneak peek, we have a special video going up shortly on the site. There was a song, Adam Cantor, who's in Fiddler on the Roof, which is winding up its run, I think, on New Year's Eve, right? It's almost done. Yeah. Adam Cantor did there was a song that was cut from the show called You Could Have, I love parentheses and song titles, You Could Have, The Richest Man in Town, which was Model's original song in Fiddler on the Roof. And he came in and documented it. We did a beautiful video of him singing this special Fiddler song that he asked us to do it, and we were thrilled to, because he's super talented, and it's a great little nugget of history. And that's it. On that note, I'm going to let you gush about your favorite show in town. Introduce her.
I love that thing. I have that thing. Hi.
And Grace has this fantastic T-shirt. Oh, yeah. She's very on brand. Now, in all seriousness, and they do know this at home, I hate everything. Like, I really am the most cynical nightmare in the office. Your show is unbelievable.
Thank you.
So good.
Thanks.
And I saw it off Broadway, but it's very different on Broadway, isn't it? So talk to me a bit about the changes.
Well, I mean, the show and the story itself have pretty much maintained what they are, because it's Tolstoy, and that's not going to change. But the telling of it, the staging of it, I think really helps. I mean, people are coming, so that's nice.
And you're not allowed to take photos of the Imperial Theatre. They're very strict about that.
No.
But
because you have to come see it for yourself.
But when you go in, I mean, it's mind-blowing what they've done in there.
Yeah, they've transformed the space. It's unrecognizable. It really is a grand Russian supper club.
But it feels also very intimate. So even though you are in a bigger space, it almost feels more intimate. Does that make any sense?
Yes, that's the thing that's so amazing about it. I mean, when it was... You didn't see it at Ars Nova, did you? Where it started?
No, I saw it. I saw it in the tent.
Yes. So I joined in the tent, but I saw it at Ars Nova on its closing night. I barely got in. I was one of 3 people off of this like huge waitlist line, and I wasn't even going to get in, but I knew the first 2 people in the waitlist line, and I was like, guys, and they're like, yeah, you can be my +1. The 3 of us got in. Nobody else. Sorry, everybody else. And it was so beautiful, and it was so intimate. I mean, that's what the space was. It was like 80 people saw it a night, maybe, and you're just kind of crammed in, and everything was happening everywhere, and I was just like crying and drunk, and I had an amazing experience. And
you're allowed to drink vodka when you see the show.
You are. Yeah. You're encouraged. I mean, at Ars Nova, you were given a carafe of vodka, and I said, well, then, thank you. Right. And then when we did it at the tent, it was it was like a 200-seat theater, and it still maintained that, like, a lot of, like, rubbernecking was involved to see the show. And now it's not so much because we are so spread out, and I think that space really actually helps tell the story, because you don't have to go like, what's happening over my shoulder? Am I missing something important? Like, all the important stuff is really where you're going to get it.
It's but there are still grand as well, isn't it? It has that epic, it's the beauty of the theatre, I think, just suits the story so well.
Yes, but also... there are still so many tiny little moments that only like maybe one person will see. So not only are you getting this grand experience, you're getting really special little intimate moments that come along with it. And I don't know what else out there is like that. That's not true. There are a few things, and they're called Sleep No More.
But this is on Broadway.
This is on Broadway.
So how has it been? And this is coming. A lot of people are asking, how has it been working with Josh Groban, who's also making his Broadway debut?
Yeah, I mean, it's so special. I mean, the whole company is a really special group of people, and Josh fits right in, because we are a bunch of weirdos, and you guys, Josh is weird, like in a wonderful way.
But he never leaves the stage, because I was just sitting on stage. I'm not trying to spoil it up, but I could see what he was doing. It's unbelievable. He sort of was part of the orchestra and everything. It's amazing.
He's part of the orchestra. He's playing along. He's also like brooding. He's also reacting. He's fantastic. I mean, he's really just like the nicest, sweetest, most generous person it's wonderful to be around him, and it's wonderful to watch him work in this way, because I don't think that on paper you would necessarily go, that's a role for Josh Groban, but he has really stepped into it and made it his own, and it's gorgeous. He's doing really beautiful, heartbreaking work.
You don't look at him thinking that's Josh Groban. You think, this is Pierre.
Exactly.
Now, is this true that you've actually read War and Peace? Because as we know, the Great Comet is based on a slither of War and Peace.
Twice.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So I went through a big Russian literature phase. I'm a little bit of a dork, and I love that. Oh, I didn't even talk about my Wizard Rock band.
We'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, but
okay. So,
but yeah,
I read it.
War and Peace.
Yeah.
You actually read War and Peace.
Yeah, I read it first just for fun, because I was really into Russian literature, and then I read it again while we were doing the show in the tent. And that was a much more rewarding experience, because I already knew I had a relationship with these characters in a different way. And there are a lot of characters in War and Peace. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to latch on to what's going on. But having this relationship with Pierre and Natasha and even Andre, who isn't really there, helped me latch on to the story, and it's so beautiful. I know it's daunting and it's old and it seems like stodgy, and what does that have to do with anything? But I highly recommend this novel.
The other thing you could do, which is what I did in between seeing it in the tent and seeing it on Broadway, there's a mini series by Andrew Davis, who sort of does stuff at Pride and Prejudice. Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I hear it's so good.
I saw it, and actually that really helps. If you can't be bothered to watch War and Peace, watch this mini series.
I want to watch
and it's excellent. It will aid your Great Comet viewing hugely. Anyway, it did help me. Right, okay. Haley wants to know, how do you hit those crazy notes in A Call to Pierre? How do you hit those crazy notes? How does that work?
Oh,
8 times a week.
I really mean it. Yeah, you guys, there's something interesting about this part, because I play Maria Dmitrievna, who's Natasha's godmother. Most of it's written in a very low alto-y range. She's just like a big old hefty woman. And then this one song, Call to Pierre, changed while we were working on it in the tent, because it needed to have some more fire behind it. And one day Dave Malloy, who the composer of Great Comet, called me and was like, how high can you comfortably belt? And I was like, this. And so then I came in and he had written this crazy song for me. So then all of a sudden this part that was no problem, was now it's very rangy. So you're going to have to take care of yourself, Grace. I have to tell you, I've never felt healthier, which is so funny, because the singing that I'm doing in this show it's real charactery, she a real character. I make some funny sounds when I sing. They're not all pretty, but it requires a lot of care and a lot of water and a lot of warming up and cooling down, and also presence. That's the thing about being able to fulfill the range that is required of this character, is being present with my my fellow actors, and really giving them what they need, and then you get it back from each other. I don't know if that's a very satisfying answer, but that's what it feels like.
Completely right. Now, there's a fun one here. What's your favourite chance you get to interact with the audience? Because you do that. I mean, you're all interacting with the audience all the time.
I really like what I get to do in The Duel, which is the club scene, because it's very much not Maria, but I'm still recognizable because I have the same hair and everything, but she's a very different character. You see me for the first bit of the show as this very stern, old school kind of a person, and then in the club scene, I'm very, very different, and it's really, I have a riding crop, and I wear a cat suit, and I do some funny, dirty things to people, and it's really fun.
It is fun. David wants to know, how different is the show every night?
That's interesting. That's a great question, actually.
David's one of our stalwarts here. He always comes up with a good question.
You've done it again.
Yeah.
The audience really is another character. And so energetically and spiritually, that kind of affects how and what we're doing. I mean, we're still trying to intentionally hit the same marks and land the same jokes in the same way, but it's that we are required to interact with you, the audience, and if you're giving us something different, I will give you something different back, and that's what's so fun about it. So thanks for going on that ride with us, you know?
Now, let's talk about, you've got a band.
Yeah.
And you're writing a pop opera.
Yeah.
As well as like doing all this amazing stuff on Broadway. You're a
Yeah.
busy woman. So your
It's
band.
necessary.
Talk to me about your band.
Yeah, so I've
quickly.
got a band. We're called Grace McLean and Them Apples, and it's really fun. We've got 2 EPs, a couple of free singles that we released this past year, actually, and we're preparing for a full-length album to be released next year. My favorite thing that we've done, I just want to say really briefly, we went to Pakistan in 2015
wow.
with the U.S. State Department, and it was incredible.
Is that all on your website?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, just a really amazing
Experience
experience to go to a place where we may have tenuous political relationship, but to go as a musical ambassador and to just be like, hey, I'm an American and I'm a woman who's leading this band. I've written all of this stuff. I'm going to share it with you. What do you have to share? Like, it's a great opportunity for like a real cross-cultural exchange, and I felt so lucky to be able to do that with something that I had created.
That sounds amazing.
Really cool.
And then you're also writing a pop opera.
Yes.
Was that before you got involved with Comet?
Oh,
or
I've been working
after?
on this. Yeah, I've been working on this show for a while now. But she's moving along. Yeah, I'm going to have a little workshop through LCT3 next year. which I'm excited about.
Congratulations, that's
Thank
amazing.
you. It's about a 12th century German mystic who I've been obsessed with for a while. I studied medieval art in college. I came to know this woman. Her name is Hildegard von Bingen. Please look her up. She's an incredible figure.
We
in the 12th
literally,
century.
I could literally talk to you all evening. Unfortunately, you've got to go and do a show. We've got to end soon. So let's bring it back to the Great Comet.
You must.
Why do you think this incredible show, and it is an incredible show that you need to go and see, speaks to people?
Oh, it's timeless. I mean, it's literally almost 200 years old, this story, but it speaks to people because even though it's like the experience itself is so different and fun and interactive, but not in a scary way, at its core, it's a story about falling in love, getting your heart broken, and about forgiveness. It's about the spiritual redemption that is possible in 2 broken human beings really seeing each other. It's all in there.
Grace McLean, thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
You're incredible. Have a wonderful evening live at 5 as we will see you tomorrow.